I love
if you
it. I
say
think
what
it's
you
great.
want about Pedro Pascal's dress sense, the boldness is alive and well. He is a Cool Ranch Dorito. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but it is bold.
One day I hope someone calls me a Cool Ranch Dorito. That
Yeah,
is quite the
I've made
compliment.
it. I've made it. I'm a
Made
Cool
it.
Ranch Dorito. Anyway, let's intro. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, a podcast where an artist and an entomologist team up to illustrate the inspiring abilities of insects by creating a bug-themed superhero. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kelly.
Before we get started creating this bug-inspired hero, what's bugging you, Kelly?
I guess I got no real complaints.
You
I
gotta
like
find things to complain about. This is the intro to the pod. You gotta complain.
I have too many friends. How about that? Too many
Yeah,
friends who
fair
want to
enough.
hang out with me,
You
and they
have
are wonderful, but
the
I'm
introvert
tired.
too many friends problem.
Yeah. My friends are great, and I'm so happy they invite me to do things, but I can't do more than like one thing on the weekend. Because now
I always
I'm
find it
tired.
funny to hear introverts talk about it because I'm the other side. I'm the extrovert. I'm the spending time with other people makes me feel energized person.
Oh, it really drains my batteries.
And you're
Really.
the drain
Oh,
because like I feel great after hanging out with. I'm like, oh right, we got to hang out with someone. It was so fun. I feel connected. I feel, I feel jazzed. And like, and sometimes my introvert friends will be like, "Oh my gosh, that was exhausting. I can't leave the house for 3 days." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah. I
okay,
feel good. Like I love to see my
yeah."
friends. We Friday night we went to my buddy Ray's house and we played Secret Hitler, which is a
Oh,
tabletop game. Nothing untoward.
nothing nefarious.
Yes. Which is pretty fun. It's like I guess it's kind of like werewolf. You got
Yeah,
to figure
you
out
got to figure out who's the bad guy,
who's the bad guy, and
and
that
that's
was a
a
good
pretty
time.
bad guy. If that's not clear to you, Hitler is the bad guy.
Yes,
Okay.
100% the bad guy. And you're accusing each other, and it was a good time. We had like hot dogs, and I made Swedish meatballs, and someone brought brownies, and yeah.
All
But
right,
by
party,
like
party.
9:45, I was
You're donezo.
like, oh god, I need to go home. I'm so tired.
Yeah,
And everyone's
again.
drinking, and and I don't drink because I'm the driver, so I let Joe have a couple beers or whatever. But that just makes me extra ready to go home.
Yeah, we
I've
recently
got no
went over to
social
our
lubricant.
yeah, we went over to our friend's house, and it was supposed to be like a game night, and they were supposed to have other people over, but it ended up just being us and our couple of friends. So we had unloaded the kids on grandparents, as you do.
Mm-hmm.
We sent one to each grandparent, which if you can do, recommend, because then the grandparents aren't so exhausted by the time you get back because they've only had one child. It only works if you have two kids.
Do the grandparents have to fight each other for who gets the kid, like their favorite kid?
Dangerous ground. We try to evenly just swap them each time. Okay,
Mhm.
you had the girl last time. This time you have the boy. I will say the boy is currently at an age where he is the more difficult one to care for because he is a Duracell battery boy. He just goes and goes and goes
He's
and
got a
goes and
ton of
goes.
energy, little guy.
Yeah, 4.5. My gosh, if you could bottle that, you'd never have to sleep again. The kid is if he's awake and he's moving, he is going. Anyway, yeah. But we went and played board games with our friend. Was my point about that. And there's some interesting board
What
games
did you
out there.
play?
We played one called I don't it was something about a cult. I don't remember the exact I think it was cult leader or something like that. Basically, you are a cult leader and you're trying to recruit as many people onto your cult as possible
Oh, okay.
by like drawing cards, and it's like you hold a bake sale, you recruit one activist, whatever it is. It was fun. It was a fun
That
game.
sounds
I
like
thought
a
it was
fun
really
game.
interesting. I think it needed slightly more. I picked the bee lady who her her cult was
Not the
she
bees.
she wanted to save the bees, and you're like, that's a reasonable thing. Why is this a cult? But it became a cult because she was trying to inject bee pheromones into people's brains so that all of humanity would like get along and operate like one beehive. where we
That's
all work
horrifying.
towards single goals. It was very like, oh, I was with you on the Save the Bees thing, and then you took it to a crazy place. Yeah, it was a fun game though, but mostly it's fun because we're with our friends, and
Yeah,
we stayed
yeah.
out till 1 a.m. And let me tell you, I haven't stayed out till 1 a.m. In probably a year and a half. It was so late, and I was like you just one of those things where you look at your watch and like, oh my gosh, it's so late. I haven't seen 1 a.m. in a long time.
Were you tired when you got home, or were you still
Oh yeah,
invigorated?
I well, I don't remember. Life is a blur. That's really my complaint for this week is that life is a blur. Time slips past you. I won't give the exact time because by the time this podcast comes out, who knows when it was or will be or whatever. But my precious baby angel is turning 1 years old. 1 year old.
Aww,
And I'm just having a lot of mommy feelings
your
about it because it's
baby.
my baby. She won't really be a baby anymore, and we're only having the two, so I'm feeling very just like, where does time go? I don't have any more babies. And to be clear, a year old is still definitely a baby, but like her true infancy, is like done. She's
Yeah.
she's starting to think about walking. She can stand by herself. If you like pick her up and put her down on her feet, she stands, and that means it's only like a couple weeks till she's walking.
Wow.
Ted
Is
walked
that
at
an
9 months.
exciting time or a hard
It's
time?
exciting because like there's this thing with parenthood, and I hope other parents listening will relate, where like you want them to do new things because it's very exciting for them to do new things. It means they're growing and they're learning, and as a parent you feel like you've cultivated a little bit of like success in this world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But at the same time there's the sadness to them growing where like you want them to stay little. You want them to stay your baby, and just very I don't know. There's something about a baby when you're a parent that's like my
Huh.
little baby, my little baby,
My
and
mom was
it's
like that.
just so
She like
fast.
loves babies.
Yeah,
Loves to me, I see a baby and I think I can't do anything with this. You
right.
know?
Yeah, and I don't blame people who are like anti baby. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah. Well,
because some people I don't
I'm
like
not
babies.
anti baby, but
Right.
I don't I don't know
But
what to
like,
do with a baby.
right, like a baby
I
doesn't
like my
offer
friends'
you anything.
kids that I can talk to and
Right.
teach things and we have fun.
And sometimes people be like, well, I don't want to be a parent because I don't want to have a baby. And I'm like, that's valid, but they're not babies for very long. Like, there's really just those first 2 years are they a baby. After that, they're very capable of doing their own stuff. And to be clear, I'm not trying to convince anyone to have children who doesn't want children. I'm just saying that if your friend has a baby and you're like, I don't know what to do with that baby, give it a few years. That kid might be a really cool 4-year-old bouncing off
Yeah.
the
Oh, I'm
walls.
sure. Yeah.
But like Ted's favorite animal is a spider.
Ted's my new best friend.
Ted
New best friend.
loves a spider. I think we've mentioned on the podcast before. He had a pet spider last summer. I anticipate we'll have a pet spider again this summer. But the
Did
other
you know
day
you can buy jumping spiders for pets?
I saw an article about
You can
that
get
you
him like
can.
a little terrarium and his very own jumping spider to
Oh,
live in
his
his
dad
room.
would absolutely hate that,
They
but
don't
he
live
would
very
love it.
long, but they're very cute.
But so I guess that's my complaint. So theoretically, this episode comes out around Mother's Day.
Hmm.
So my mommy feelings are right on track. Do we have a mommy bug this week? We've talked a little bit about good bug moms before. Who have we hit that's a good bug? Ladybugs kind of left meals for their eggies.
Yeah, who else did
Ants are kind
we
of
answer?
everybody.
Or well, answer like sisters. No,
Yeah,
not really mummies.
not really mommies.
But I mean, today we are talking about a very good mommy, the earwig, that people are very skeeved out about.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
How
we
do
could
you
do a
feel about
PR
an
campaign
earwig?
here. So I see earwigs mostly outside. Every now and then I'll see one inside. But you lift up a log here in Portland, Oregon, there's gonna be an earwig under there. I feel like I used to see a lot more of them, but I think I also just interacted with logs a lot more when I was a kid. Flipping logs. Around here, they're only about half an inch, maybe a little
Yeah,
less.
they're not generally very big. I think most of them are about half an inch long.
Yeah.
There
Just
used to be a 3-incher
ay, chihuahua.
that only lived on St. Helena Island, but
That's a
no
big bug. And did he have the little pinchy booty?
pigeons. Yeah, oh yeah, but
That's what the earwig is most famous for, I would say.
the pinchy
Is
booty.
the pinchy booty.
Well, I think that unfortunately, I think that 3-incher is that's a little over 7.5 centimeters, but they haven't been seen since 1967, so they might be extinct now,
They might be gonzos.
which is
Bugs is
sad.
one of those interesting ones where they're like, we think it's extinct. We think, but like it's a bug. It
They're
could
hard
be
to
just
find.
around. Well, like I read some statistic where like there's thousands of undiscovered bugs in the Amazon just because.
Oh,
How
yeah.
do you find them?
How do you
They're
find them
out
all?
there. And like and I think we've mentioned before, how do you know it's an undiscovered bug when it lands on you? You kind of go, oh, that's a weird bug. But like, unless you're an entomologist hanging out in the Amazon, you might not know that that's an undiscovered bug.
There's a lot of bugs, and there's also a difference between undiscovered and unnamed. So,
Oh,
like,
interesting.
maybe we've seen them before, but no one's giving them a name. Yeah, undescribed. But they're around. I think there's still plenty of bugs we haven't maybe described yet, even in North America. You never know what you're gonna find.
Left
You
to
know,
be. The new thing now is to like name creatures that you discover after pop culture. Like there was, what was it, like Draco Rex Hogwartsia, that was like a dinosaur. I think this now has been decategorized. They're like, no, it's just a juvenile form of. I think Stygimoloch also got decategorized. It's also no longer.
Aw.
Some good name choices are out there getting the boot. Because I just love to say Stygimoloch. I think it's a great name. But like
There's
that's
lots
the
of
new
fun
thing,
names.
right?
David Attenborough has been named after, like, many animals have been named after David Attenborough.
Yeah,
Which
and like
he deserves 'cause
Pokemon
he's
seems to be a
awesome.
big one right now too. Like a lot of like, it's a Pikachuium or whatever. I think there's some bacteria or something that's a Pikachuium.
I can't think of any interesting earwig names. I think they're all kind of like.
I mean, earwig is pretty evocative on its own because immediately my brain is going, earwig. How to get? Is it gonna go in my ears? So let's start at the top. Is it gonna go in my ears, Kelly?
No more than any other bug.
Oh, that's not good news because sometimes bugs get in there.
Yeah, it's not.
Mostly
They're not
seems to
like
be
looking for your
spiders.
ears. Spiders?
So, Cody, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but we are going to mention that sometimes spiders get in your ears and
Wait, in Cody's ear specifically? Or?
Not Cody's ears. You're going to make him throw up on his way to work.
Sorry, Cody.
But like, you just see it every now and then. People are like, I heard a scraping inside my ear. I'm, of course, talking like I'm in a TLC reveal all documentary. I didn't know I had a spider in my ear. They're like, all night long I could hear a scraping. Botflies also is a big one where they're like, I could hear something, but I couldn't find out where it was.
Ugh,
and it turns out it was like,
no thanks
it was
for
in
me.
you. Someone I know had like a cockroach in their ear. I can't remember who it was though. You know, it was like a friend of a friend of a friend.
Sometimes bugs just like end up in your ear. But
so
the name earwig. Yeah. The name earwig is Old English, and it comes from ear or era, and either wikia. I think a G is a Y, so wikia, and that would just mean ear insect or ear beetle. They use wikia a lot for beetle, or it might be eared, not wikia, which would mean soil bug. So it's a little iffy. Yeah.
I'm more into soil bug. I think soil bug makes a lot more sense considering
because that's where you find
them. I find them.
Under rocks.
It's either under a log or in the bathroom. Those are the two places.
Yeah. There's no in between.
No in between. I've never seen one in a hallway. I only ever see them under a log in the bathroom. And that's just because you always see bugs in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom and all of a sudden
it's nice
a spider.
And damp. They want to be where it's damp and dark. Earwigs especially want to be where it's damp and dark.
I've also heard that you just see them there and they get stuck in the tub because they can't get out of the smooth walls. And that nice white tub, that little bug looks so obvious. So in the hallway, you just might not see them.
Yeah, they're probably not in the hallway though, unless it's like a basement hallway. They
Yeah.
also have really neat wings. So they have beautiful, very kind of gossamery wings. The order they belong to. So earwigs are very old relative to other insect species, and they have a whole order to themselves. And usually you don't. I don't know. I feel like they're very specific to have their own order, and the order is called Dermoptera, which just means skin wing, because they do have this really thin wing. And when it's folded, it kind of looks like a human ear. So that could also
Oh.
be a little bit where that name comes from.
Okay, so I've just Googled it. Wow, these are beautiful.
They're pretty, aren't they? People think earwigs and they go gross, but some of them are very, very pretty. Are you looking at the wing?
I'm looking at the wing specifically. It's kind of origamied, an
Yeah.
origami fan
Yeah,
where
they
it just
really
kind of
fold it
has
up.
all of these ribs that like collapse down into a wing and then it collapses. Yeah, it reminds me of those fans you make when you're a kid where you're like fold this way, fold that way, fold this way, fold that way.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then you
yeah.
got a little fan. But wow, and it has this kind of iridescent quality to it because it's a bug
Mhm.
wing. They're very pretty. I never
Yeah.
would have expected this from my friend the earwig.
Yeah,
She's
listeners,
holding secrets.
Google earwig and get a real good look, and try not to think too
Don't
much about
focus.
them like being in your bathroom or your basement. Like just look at the bug itself
Yeah.
in all its glory.
And then of course there's the pinchy butt. But the
Pinchy
wings,
buzz.
so they can fly
They
then.
can fly, they
Uh,
don't fly often.
I've never seen one flying. I don't think I've ever even noticed that they have wings before.
They like to keep them tucked. It's why I did not put flight on the superhero list, because while they can fly, they don't really.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I've even ever thought about them
You
having
gotta you gotta
wings.
make it happen.
You'd really have to bother them to get them to
Producer
fly.
Derek's calling it an emergency jetpack. That is kind of what it is.
Emergency use only. Is that just because are they like too heavy for their wings or is it just
uh,
they
they're
don't they're
they've got
faster
really
crawlers?
flat bodies and they're fast crawlers. They don't need to fly. They're not going anywhere. They prefer to like slide into cracks or under crevices, like into crevices, under rocks. They're not. Their lifestyle is not super flight friendly, so they'd rather just run. You've seen them move; they're pretty fast.
They're fast little buggers.
Oh
They're slipping and sliding all over the place.
yeah,
Their their head reminds me quite strongly of an ant or maybe a termite. I'm not
it's kind of
entirely
round,
sure.
that
Yeah, kind of that
roundish.
round little bug head with two little eyes on each side and then two long antennae kind of in the middle of their forehead there. And
Yeah,
I
they're
wonder,
they're neat looking.
yeah, it's the longer I look at this picture of an earwig, the more I think it might be the most buggy bug that's ever been. It's got that
There's a
bug head, 6 legs,
there
big bug butt.
are about 2,000 species
Wow.
worldwide. So there's a lot of them. 25 occur here in North America, and 45 for our friends in Europe. And I didn't write this down. I think it's 28 in Australia. So
Australia, the
there's a
land
lot.
where bugs have taken over.
We should do a whole episode on Australian insects at some
Oh,
point.
we should do an episode on just Australia and the bugs are where you find
Mm-hmm.
them. Because I was watching America's Funniest Home Videos, AFE. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to one of the longest lasting, always quality content shows on this planet. But it's one where you can watch with your whole family and everyone kind of has a good time. But they had one where a guy was trying to get one of those spiders that are just like huge in
Oh, the
Australia.
huntsman, the
Yeah,
huntsman spider.
yeah.
Yeah, those
And
are
he's like
cool.
trying to trap it under a Tupperware, and I'm like, bro, this ain't happening. You're gonna get way too close to that spider with that Tupperware. You need like a long net. But I mean, it was
They're like
huge.
hand sized. They're large.
They're
They're
big boys.
they're harmless though. Huntsman spiders just kind of hang out. They're very afraid of people, so they do
Yeah,
not want
that
you
was
to
part of
come
the
near
problem
them.
with coming at it with a Tupperware is
Yeah,
that
they're
it
terrified of
doesn't help that
humans.
like he's trying to get the spider out of the Tupperware and the person filming is like barely holding on to their sanity that this this
That this is happening.
spider, right? And so they, of course, scream when he gets too close to the spider, which makes him like freak out. And then the spider's like, "I'm out of here!" And then now you don't know where the spider is. Just his
I
own
saw,
whole problem.
I saw a video once of a huntsman spider that was living in an Australian man's bathroom, and he would bring it bugs that he found like in the house, like a
Right.
cockroach, and
You
just
now you have
drop
no
it in
choice.
front of it, and it would grab it immediately and have a little snack. He named it. I don't
Yeah,
remember
it's
what he
your pet
named
now.
it.
Well, the
It's
pet
like
jumping
Henry or
spiders.
something. It's
Yeah.
adorable.
Henry the house spider. If I mean, remember that spiders are friends, and that
Spiders are friends.
you should let them eat the mosquitoes out of your house.
And earwigs are kind of friends. They don't really get into our stuff when they live in our houses. They just kind of hang out.
Yeah, they're not like in your sugar or anything.
No, no. They mostly eat decaying plant matter. They eat fungi. They'll eat other bugs too. Some of them are omnivorous. So they're not like getting into
Okay.
your pantry or anything, which I think people are usually afraid of.
Yeah.
So some of them though live in very strange places.
Not under logs in my yard.
Oh, so much worse.
Oh
Uh,
no.
so in parts of Africa, they have the African giant rat, and earwigs live on the rat's tummy. Just they're blind and flightless. Those don't have wings, and they just live on the rat. It's
And just
gross.
eat stuff that the rat encounters as it's scraping its nasty rat belly all over the world.
They
All
eat
over creation.
they eat fungus that collects on the rat's tummy, and they eat like the dead skin cells. They are gnarly.
Like,
I wish
I know that the
the
viewers,
listeners could
the
see Amanda's
listeners
face
can't see
right
my face, but like, I am. That's
horrified.
gross. Can you imagine you picked up a rat and then you're like,
It's
look at this
covered in
rat,
earwigs.
and it's covered in earwigs? Gross. That is nasty, as my 4-year-old like. That's nasty.
So some of them also live on bats too. They have a relationship with bats that's the same
Uh-huh.
way.
I
But
feel like a bat would get
bizarre.
covered in some pretty gross stuff, especially if it's a fruit bat. It just feels kind of like he's covered in like nectar and fruit goo, and the earwig's like, chill, bro, I'll take care of this for you.
I got this, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, dude.
They're like little
There's a lot of
janitors
those
that
little,
live on your tummy.
yeah, there's a lot of those little janitor animals throughout nature that we kind of
Oh
are like,
yeah.
okay. The most famous one, I think, being like, it's the wrast fish, I believe, where it like
Oh,
is
the
the
remora.
dentist. Yeah, the remora also. I think the wrast is the one that's like the dentist of the deep.
Oh
Where
yeah,
it, like,
yeah.
it'll eat out of other creatures' mouths, and the other creature's like, chill,
Yeah,
take
they
it,
just
bro.
wait for it to happen.
Yeah,
It's
which like
bizarre.
the idea that a predatory fish would just let another fish in its mouth and not eat it is pretty impressive. It's a interesting level of like, I don't know,
I wonder if
sophistication of the creatures.
I wonder if those predatory fish only do this after they've already eaten.
Oh, that's possible too. That like
So
they're
maybe they don't
already
have the urge to
satiated.
chomp. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fish expert. Although, according to QI, one of my favorite shows, QI, a fish is not real. There's no such thing as a fish because like fish is just kind of a word they use to describe things that live in the ocean. But there's like not really a solid category of like it must have these things to be a fish.
Well, it's like bug.
Yeah. The
It's like
fish
the
and bug are
colloquial
more
term
like,
bug. Yeah,
and like
I could see that.
things aren't really fish as much as fish just means it lives in the ocean. Because like think about like a seahorse. A seahorse is not very fishy, but it's still a fish. Like it's not like a tuna, which is very clearly a fish. So whatever.
Yeah, I would not call a seahorse a fish.
But I
Even
think
though
it's technically a
it
fish.
probably is, but
Yeah.
because it belongs to the same family or grouping as a pipefish, I think.
Yeah.
Are they
I don't know.
related? Yeah, Derek's giving me the thumbs up. It's
And
been a
like
while since I've looked at fish.
you didn't get your 90s inspired marine biology certificate as as
I did.
every girl in the 90s wanted to be a marine
Yeah,
biologist.
I did. It's called a bachelor's degree.
Oh, perfect. But just like
that I don't
every
use.
girl wanted to grow up and like play with dolphins. And
Yeah.
I firmly blame Lisa Frank for that.
I wanted to work with sharks when I was
Oh,
little. I wanted to be a shark
interesting.
biologist. Yeah.
Little sharky guys.
Not a horse girl, but a wolf girl. Not
Yeah,
a
correct.
dolphin
Correct.
girl, but a shark girl. Yeah.
What is a shark if not a toothy dolphin? People get that wrong though. People are afraid of sharks. They should be afraid of dolphins.
They should be afraid
That's
of they should have a healthy respect and fear for both, I would say.
okay. Fair enough. But
But
like,
healthy, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the dolphin's smart enough that when he hurts you, he knows.
Yeah, he's
He knows
aware.
he's aware he was hurting you.
Well, we don't at least we don't have to worry about that because our earwig friends, even
They're not.
even if they wanted to, and they do, they will pinch you with their little pinchy butt, but it doesn't hurt. It causes no pain.
So that's the thing I was scared of as a kid. When you encounter an earwig, you're like, it's gonna get me with its little pinchy butt. Sorry
It
for how
doesn't
much we're
hurt.
saying butt in this episode, guys. If you've got a kid who laughs at the word
Or
butt,
pinchy.
my apologies. Yeah. So it would come at you with his little pinchy behind there.
Those are
And
called
I was
cerci.
always
Our vocab word of the day is cerci. Yeah.
oh, like the island witch who will bewitch you onto her island for many a year.
Two I's, not two E's.
Oh no.
But I like the comparison.
Yeah. And like when people try to, I remember it was like this big thing about like, how do you pronounce Cersei from the Game of Thrones book? And obviously the show went with Cersei. And but like some people insist on calling her like Cersei or something. And I'm like, it's an allusion to the literary character. You guys, her name is Cersei.
It's not Cersei. I hate the way Cersei sounds anyway.
Cersei.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Game of Thrones is not a subtle book series. It's like not subtle in the least. Her name is Cersei because she's named after the witch. Like, chill out. But okay, so I was always scared of the little Cersei coming at me with my. You can see my fingies here coming at me. But it turns out I shouldn't have been afraid because they. Is this like the daddy long leg thing where like they couldn't actually bite you because their fangs aren't long enough?
They can pinch you. It just doesn't. There's not a lot of power there. It doesn't hurt. Yeah. And they're different. So if you see long, skinny Cersei, those are female. But if you see Cersei that look more like classically pincher shaped, those are the males.
Okay, so monkey wrench versus needle nose pliers.
Yeah. Perfect, Amanda. Perfect.
Yes, thank you. I'm contributing.
I'm gonna take you with me every time I teach a class, so you can.
Perfect.
You can
That's
use
my
the right terminology.
So
take a sneak peek of males and females and check out those butts.
So what purpose against other bugs, I can see how they'd be very helpful. But I mean, actually, maybe not. How do they get the pinchers to another bug? Do they have to turn around? Can they?
They can move their abdomen up a little bit.
Okay. So more like scorpion or to the side?
More like scorpion, I think. Yeah.
Scorpion. Okay.
So they're not like quite like a scorpion. That's a lot. That's a far reach.
That's a lot. The scorpion has a whole tail that's like very useful. Great design on the scorpion.
They use them to the males fight each other for the ladies.
Typical male behavior.
They'll defend themselves from predators or other bugs. They use them to hold prey while they're eating. And then while they're mating, the males use them to kind of hold on to the female. So they've got a lot of uses.
So you said that the needle nose pliers on the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a size difference between the male and the female? Because
they're about the same size.
Okay, because we've had a couple where like the lady is huge compared to the boy.
Yeah, they're kind of. I think they're kind of neat looking. But what I think the most interesting part, and this is because of Mother's Day, is that the females are wonderful mummies, and they not only take care of the eggs, but they take care of their offspring as little nymphs for about 2 to 3 molts. They feed them, they clean them. They're very nice.
So are we looking at an incomplete metamorphosis?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Amanda's becoming an entomologist right before our eyes.
Someone get me a certificate. Put it on my LinkedIn. So 2 or 3 molts, how long is that in like percentage wise of your life? Because in humans it's about 1/5 of your life. you're going to be
Yeah.
getting taken care of by your mommy.
So it's probably about 40, I think 40 to 60 days that they stay with their
Hmm.
mother. So
That's a
that's
long
the
time in Bugland,
it is a
considering that a
long
lot of
time.
bugs only live 40 to 60 days.
It's nice. And so there was a study where they took another earwig's eggs and
Mhm.
gave them to an earwig who already had eggs, and she just, the more the merrier. She took care of
Come
all those
on in.
eggs. Yeah, she
That's
didn't.
so sweet. She's in take care of the babies mode. I don't care whose babies. Did they tried it with already hatched ones?
I don't think so. I think
Hmm.
they just did eggs.
Yeah.
So the
Fair
eggs
enough.
probably don't have particular chemical cues that lets them
Right.
know these are my eggs. They probably
Right.
all smell the same.
They're all
So
just earwig eggs.
yeah, she's not a very observant mother, but
Right.
she's attentive.
Attentive, not observant.
Not observant.
sounds like me as a mother.
Sounds like a lot of
Uh,
mommies out there.
well, it's hard. Okay, there's a lot of eggs. How many eggs does she lay per
Oh,
brood?
like 50 to 90.
Wow. Okay,
She's
so
got a lot of eggs. Yeah.
she can't be bothered to know precisely how many eggs there were. So it's just that's where the eggs are. More or less,
Although
that's not their
she,
business.
when she has extra eggs, they did notice that she would eat a few. So
Well, you gotta get some of that back.
I don't know if she only ate uh the
Imposter eggs.
imposter eggs, or if she ate her. I'm assuming she would have no way of telling the difference between them,
Yeah.
so she probably ate whatever is closest to her mouth.
Right. Well,
But mommy's got to eat.
also sounds similar to me. um. Okay, so
Poppy
where
seed
is
muffin,
she?
blueberry muffin. Just
Blueberry muffin, poppy seed muffin, going in. Where is she laying these? On the underside of leaves, or I guess under logs is what we decided is where she mostly hangs out.
yeah, she makes like a little nest in the dirt, and then she lays them, and she just kind of hangs out on that nest, and she cleans them. She takes the fungi that will want to grow on the eggs off of them, and then she even puts this kind of antifungal chemical on them from her mouth, which will stop more fungus from growing. She's
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
she's got to take care of them.
that's so interesting.
Yeah, I know when people think about insects, they don't think about them being good parents.
No, no. Definitely, I think they're imagining the left nasty little pile of eggs somewhere and skittered away. But I mean, if we're talking just the colloquial bug, there's several spiders that like carry around
Hmm.
their babies.
So wolf spiders will carry their
Yeah.
offspring on their back. That's like 150 plus spiderlings all clinging to her.
Oh,
She puts webbing on her back specifically for them to hold on to, which is pretty cool. We should do an episode on wolf spiders because they are my
definitely.
favorite spider out there.
What we talk about ladybugs leaving food behind. I know the ants are more aunties and sisters than like specifically mom, but like even they take care of their young, and the bees take care of their young.
Yeah. There are even some males who perform this task.
Oh, do daddy earwigs stay around, or is it just a mom
Other
show?
species of bug will have
Uh-huh.
males. Maybe we'll cover one for Daddy's Day,
Oh, that'd
Father's
be fun.
Day. Yeah. We'll talk about some interesting males. Well, some species of earwig, though, the mother uh, pays the ultimate mommy price and feeds herself
Oh,
to her babies
oh,
at
that
the.
happens
Yeah.
sometimes.
I know, speaking to some human mothers, sometimes it feels like their children.
It does feel possibly too personal for the podcast, but I recently gave up breastfeeding for my youngest.
Mm.
And there are definitely times when you feel like, oh my gosh, someone stop this baby from eating me alive.
It does
It's just
not
very
sound
draining.
like a comfortable situation to be
It's
in.
not a comfortable experience. I actually didn't, again, might be too personal for the podcast. I didn't breastfeed the second one. I actually exclusively pumped for her because of reasons. Mostly my anxiety of like, is she getting enough? Is she getting enough? And pumping
Aw.
was just a lot more comfortable for that for me. But yeah, it's sometimes it does feel a little bit like you have encased yourself within a tube and they are going to eat you like a cicada.
Yeah, you are physically feeding your child part of
Yeah,
your body.
it's
That's
it's beautiful, but
that's dedication.
also
Yeah.
very, very draining.
Yeah. At least you're not feeding your entire body to
Yes,
your
that's
children
true.
like Mama Earwig does on occasion.
Yes. I'm not I'm not making that big of a sacrifice. But there's a lot of bugs or maybe even not even bugs, but like it seems like a lot of moms like once you've reproduced, your business on this earth is over. Goodbye.
I think very, very frequently with invertebrates that
Yeah.
happens. So we see that with
Yeah.
octopuses.
I wish octopus lived longer.
Yeah.
Octopus is one of those ones, but maybe it's better that they don't because if they lived long enough, they would take over the planet.
Well,
And
I
then
think
we'd
the
all just be living in an
longest
octopus world.
the longest lived octopus is about I think 6 years.
Yeah, it's not long at all. I think the Pacific
No, no.
octopus is only like 3 years, maybe even only 2.
Yeah.
And
It
I
might
know that
be
they've done things to like try and keep them alive, but like they lay those eggs and like they're
they're
done.
done. They're done. It's very energy costly to
Mhm.
reproduce, you
Bro,
know.
you're telling someone who's been pregnant twice, let me tell you. It is people underestimate how tired you are when you're pregnant. If you haven't been pregnant, let me tell you. It is exhausting.
Is
I'm
it
throwing stuff.
exhausting the whole time or more so towards the
It's
end?
exhausting at the beginning and it's exhausting at the end. There's kind of this golden period in trimester 2 where you feel awesome. You have
Really?
beautiful, luxurious hair. You're not yet aching everywhere, but you're kind of over the worst of the throwy ups. Although, unfortunately, people like me, I didn't have the like diagnosed, like, I think it was what's her name? The comedian who is
Amy
a
Poehler?
lady. Yeah. And she had like the throw 'em ups the whole time, like the diagnosed,
Oh,
like
that's rough.
this
I
is
hate
triggered.
throwing up.
Yeah.
I would rather be in pain than be nauseous.
Well,
I can't stand it.
you may have to change your plans of never getting pregnant. Let me tell you, I had the throw 'em ups the whole time, but like there's a period there where you don't necessarily feel like you're gonna pass out and or vomit the whole time, but it lasts like maybe 3 weeks and then you're right back to being miserable.
That's terrible. I heard all that beautiful hair falls out. Is that true?
Depends. So my hair, this has accidentally become more mommy
Well,
talk on the podcast.
this is the mommy episode, so we can
Okay, well, my hair
ask
texture
questions.
changed with my first pregnancy. Before I was pregnant, I had very very healthy hair before I got pregnant the first time, and it was very balanced. Like it was long and strong, and I could pretty much do anything with it except for curl it. And after I had my first kid, my older son, the texture of my hair became quite dry. I don't know why.
Huh. Oh wow.
And then the second time it didn't change as much. It's a little
Producer Derek is saying you look like a Cabbage Patch doll.
What? I look like a Cabbage Patch doll? I don't even know what that means. Well, if I did or didn't, I do not know. But my hair has never done the folly out thing because like some people will get a lot of hair growth while pregnant because your body's like in grow everything mode. What's that? Let's grow it. What's that? Grow it. Grow it. Grow it. Grow it. Grow it. Which is why you also get like new freckles, new moles, new skin tags, new hair, like
everything.
I got chin hair when I was pregnant with my son because my body had extra testosterone in it, and it was like, hey, grow some hair. And okay, so I got
unnecessary hair. Oh
yeah, it's crazy. And
wow,
nowadays I think people still think of getting the sex of your baby as this really kind of invasive process, but now they can just tell with a simple blood draw. They can even do paternity tests with a simple blood draw on the mother while she's still pregnant.
Wow.
Because they can really tell a lot of information because the baby's DNA is just like throughout your body.
Floating around in there.
It's just floating around in there. So they can really tell all kinds of stuff because all they have to do is eliminate your DNA. All that's left is baby's DNA. They can tell all kinds of information from that. It's pretty interesting. But like the days of the amniocentesis are really quickly going away. It's interesting.
Yeah, that was like a long needle.
Yeah, it's
into
like a
the
long
abdomen,
needle into
right?
the
Ugh,
uterus. And like,
no, thank you.
yeah, and a lot of women would be like, no thanks, because it does carry a certain amount of risk to the fetus. And sorry. But like all kinds of genetic screening they can do now. They can do
Wow.
crazy stuff with baby science. Stuff that they probably could have done a long time ago, but I think we've discussed before, science that is related to specifically and only to the female body
Huh.
is way behind the
It's
times.
slow. It's very
It's
slow.
slow to come, yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is so interesting. I mean, I think the listeners already know this, but I do not have children. I do not plan on having children. So all the pregnancy is fascinating to me because it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
something I'm going to experience.
I think pregnancy is also one of those things that it feels very secretive until you're there. And then all of a sudden there's all this information that you get because like, oh, you're pregnant now. Here's all the things you need to know. And you're like, why have I never heard any of this
It's like
before?
belonging to a secret club.
It's very secret clubby. And I have always, when people ask me about pregnant, I'm like, I want to tell you stuff because there's a ton of stuff no one tells you. All kinds of weird, like you're not allowed to sleep on a certain side, theoretically. You have to sleep only on your right side and
Huh.
all this stuff.
Yeah,
And some of it is,
anytime my friends got pregnant, I always had 1,000 questions. I'm like, how are you
yeah.
feeling? What's going on in your body right
Yeah.
now? What's,
I think the weirdest thing about pregnancy is when the baby moves on their, once they start, they call it the quickening. Once the baby
that's
starts
gross.
to move. Yeah.
The quickening, I don't like that.
When...
I don't like that at all.
So with your first baby, you're unlikely to feel their first movements because you just won't recognize it as baby movements. You'll just think, oh, my tummy's kind of upset. By the time you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 7,
by the time you're an earwig and you have 70.
By the time you're an earwig and you have 50 to 98, you start to recognize what that feels like. But once they start to move, it I don't know, it changes something about pregnancy. I don't know. It's crazy.
Does it feel gross or?
The only thing I can describe it as is if you swallowed a live goldfish.
Oh, odd.
And until, as they get bigger, it goes from goldfish to like trout.
To carp.
To carp. And like by the end, you can like see what they're up to because your like stomach wall's not that thick. You know, it's probably, I mean, depending on who you are, a centimeter or whatever. And baby swimming around.
You can see like an elbow.
Yeah, you can see elbows. I saw feet with both my kids.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's not for the weak being pregnant.
Well, some earwigs actually do live birth, so I'm sure they're experiencing the same.
We really think of insects as an
internal
species, but
they technically lay the egg inside themselves,
right?
And then,
well, a human's doing that too, if we're completely honest.
It's different. It's not
it
quite
different.
the same.
It is different.
Yeah.
We call it. My point being that we call it an egg in a human lady. And although I'm not sure that's really accurate to what an egg is.
Not when we compare it to every other egg on the planet.
Yeah. We really should go. I guess no, because ovum is kind of has egg related.
Yeah, it's
egg connotation still. Probably should have its own word when it never has a shell on it.
Yeah.
So she lays the eggs, but they don't ever. I guess they don't get laid. She creates eggs, and then she doesn't lay them.
And then they
just
get fertilized, and then the hatching happens internally. There are some snakes do this.
Yeah.
Some sharks do this.
Is it Indiana Jones where they like cut the side of the snake, and all the little snakes come out? Is that Indiana Jones Temple of Doom?
I don't remember.
I think it is Temple of Doom.
Why has it always got to be snakes?
Why is that? To be fair, Indiana Jones, I also would not enjoy that. For many reasons, I would not enjoy that.
Are you? So I've read that people are either afraid of snakes or spiders, one or the other. Do you have one of those fears?
I feel like I have a medium-sized respect for both. Like I feel like I'm not afraid of snakes until someone comes to a snake show with a cobra, and then all of a sudden I'm like, maybe I am afraid of snakes.
But if you see a snake in the yard,
that doesn't bother me.
Versus a spider in the yard, which one are you more uncomfortable around?
based purely on size, I'll say snake, because I
Hmm.
don't know what that snake's up to. Although to be
It's
fair,
minding its
like
own business.
it's mind its own business. But, like, isn't every spider technically venomous? It's just a question of whether they can actually get to you or not. But because that's the strategy when you're a spider, is to be
Yeah.
venomous,
Yeah, they're venomous, but not all venom is harmful to humans.
right? Or all fangs can like get you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
He's small. He's
fair
not
fair
gonna. He's not
assessment. Some
gonna
of them
get
are
you.
very tiny. Yeah.
Whereas a snake, not all of them are venomous,
No, no,
right?
certainly not.
Like what is it? The garter snake. I got
Yeah,
in
they're
trouble
they're
last time for
they're
calling it a
buddies.
gardener snake.
They're
It's
little
a
friends.
garter.
Ribbon snakes are little friends.
We used to collect
Yeah,
garter snakes in a kiddie pool in the backyard.
I did. It was
Yeah,
it
you
was fun.
gotta. It's very
It was
fun,
a
and
lot
they
of
got
fun.
cool little stripes. They're like there's red ones, there's yellow ones, and I
They're
have no idea if
pretty.
that means anything.
Yeah, they just have slightly different coloration. Although a garter snake will
Garter.
my accent makes it sound like garter. Um, will make a smell, like a horrible smell if you pick them up. It's part of their defense mechanism. Have you ever picked one up and they just stink?
I don't
Do you just not
recall.
pick them up? Maybe
I
you just
just
don't pick them up.
I just didn't pick them up much. We kind of just once we picked them up and we put them in the tub, we kind of just let them be
Do their
free.
thing.
Yeah, we had a lot of like little play toys in there. Specifically, we had this one T-Rex that they would like get up into the T-Rex and just like
Oh,
curl up in there, and you could
hang
like pick
out.
up the T-Rex and look at it. And then after a couple days, your dad comes and says, "Okay, they all got to go be snakes again," and you come and tip over the pool
Set
because
them free.
set them free. You know, he doesn't want us to have like a collection of dead garter snakes. You know, like we would collect worms and put them in there because that's what our dad told us they ate.
Yeah, they'll
But
eat
like they
worms.
want to
They'll
go
eat
be
anything
snakes.
kind of small. Yeah.
Yeah, they want to go do snake things. They don't want to live in this tub forever.
Yeah. Our
So
friends the earwigs also make kind of a disgusting smell if you if you threaten them. So
is
not
that
unlike the garter snakes.
is there a categorization for musk, or is it just smell?
It's acrid.
Acrid.
It's
Okay.
like a gross. You know when a battery goes bad
Yeah,
and it has
and
that
it gets that like
smell.
white stuff all over it.
Yeah, it kind of smells like that. So yeah, earwigs I think have a lot more going on than I think than most people initially probably thought before tuning into this episode.
Well, that's why we did it. That and Derek's mother-in-law, Kathy, who a mother to not Derek, but to his lady spouse, but she apparently hates
Oh
earwigs, and we
no.
are hoping to turn her to the side of
Yeah,
the lovely
maybe
earwigs.
hearing about what good moms they are and that there's just so many of them.
Yeah,
There's so many different species.
they'd only use that pinchy butt under extreme duress.
We mostly see the in your house, you're probably seeing the invasive species of earwig,
We
which is
haven't even discussed the invasiveness of the wig.
the European earwig is our invasive dude here. And I'm pretty sure those are the ones you mostly see inside. If you're outside seeing them, you're probably seeing the native species, like under rocks and logs and things. The European species seems to prefer to be in with us. I don't know why.
They just like us. You're so cute. They
We're
say,
cool.
you keep this tub full of water just for me.
I don't think I saw any. Usually, so I see a variety of bugs in the lab because my advisor's lab, is in the basement. So we see fire brats, cockroaches, tons of spiders. One of them is a woodlouse spider. I saw a few months ago. She was pretty cool. I don't think I've seen any earwigs, but I know they must be down there because it's perfect habitat
Yeah.
for them.
They
They're just sneaking around.
well, I mean that's the thing about so many of these bugs. As we said, they're around you and you just don't know.
Exactly. Are you drawing?
Yes, I'm trying to
What
get.
kind of hero would you make out of an earwig?
So I've gone with, we haven't done this yet, despite having many six-legged fella, because bugs have 6 legs.
Yes, insects have 6 legs.
Insects should say,
not all
yeah,
bugs.
okay,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough, fair enough.
Sorry,
Oh, right,
sorry.
right.
Sorry to
Insects have
rain on
6
your
legs.
parade.
Arachnids have 8. Although sometimes it seems like they have 10 because they have those two little front guys that sometimes are big enough that I'm like, that's a leg. I know it's not a leg, but like
they're
pretty
mouth
big.
part of the mouth parts, yeah.
Right. It's like the crab with the claws. You know, you're like, is that not a leg? Because I feel like you're using it like a leg. Anyway, it's kind of like the difference between legs and limbs. Feels like there's a distinction there that sometimes feels dicey to me as a human.
That's fair. That's fair. But
Okay, so to clarify, before I add more to this, 2 wings or 4 wings?
how many wings do you
Well,
think they have?
we were looking at it earlier, and again, to my eye, it looks like just one set of wings, one set of beautiful origami fan wings. But I've been fooled before by the wing. But okay. Last time we talked about that the outer casing, what I would call a casing of the wing, is sometimes their first set of wings has become like a hard protector wing. So I'm going to say 4 wings, but 2 of them are not quite.
Correct.
That's what I. Yes.
There's the forewing and the hind wing, and the forewing is more of a cover for the hind wing.
Yeah. Okay. Good. This episode has been a lot of me proving that I've been paying attention on the podcast.
Amanda is my greatest student.
Oh,
A+.
At the end, I will be giving talks at Mosquito's convention.
You got to draw Mosquito.
I haven't had time this week because we've been so busy, but I desperately want to draw her.
I can't wait to see what you come up with for her because she's amazing.
I mean, given that you told me she's like was being performed by cis men, just going like, oh, I just really want to make her like full drag queen.
Yeah.
It's like, here I am on.
That would be great.
We need like a clever pun for RuPaul's Drag Race to become some sort of other bug.
Our next set of bugs is just drag queen bugs.
Perfect. Drag queen bugs. I can come out in June for Pride. Perfect.
Yeah. You can make a very fancy June beetle for June, and you can make her a drag queen.
Yes. There's some beautiful bugs out there that would be great inspirations. I don't know if you've seen the Don Bluth movie, Thumbelina, but there is one scene where
I have.
Would recommend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Don Bluth, he's the same guy who did like Secret of Nim, American Tail with the little mouse.
Oh yeah.
Russia, you know, those Five Goes West, which is the superior of the two, fight me. So he was a Disney animator for a long time, but then he didn't like how Disney was treating him, which fair. So he went and tried to make his own animation studio for a while. The problem was, among many things, he has a really specific animation style that takes a while to do because it requires so many drawings, which on the one hand looks great, looks beautiful. But if you're trying to make a movie, like every drawing costs money basically. And he just ran out of money. The company folded after like 5 movies, I think. I'd have to check. But they actually, there's a fun fact for Derek. They had the rights to, or no, he just did work on it, I think. There was going to be an animated feature of the musical Cats.
Oh.
And I think Steven Spielberg was the one who bought the rights for it. He wanted to do an animated version of Cats with the songs. And if I'm completely honest, I wish I lived in the timeline where that had happened, because I think a Don Bluth Cats animated would have made way more sense than what we ended up getting.
I still have not seen Cats.
Oh,
and I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to do that to myself.
I've got several friends that I've tried to talk into watching Cats with me, and they just won't. They're like, I don't want to know. And I'm like, but you do want to know. You just don't know that you want to know. It's horrible. It's bad. And it's bad for multiple reasons, not the least of which being that they just like ruined the music. And I blame Tom Hooper for this, because he kind of ruined the music in Les Mis too. Actually, not kinda. He straight up ruined the music in Limits too. And it's like, why let a guy who clearly does not like musicals make musicals? Stop doing that. Why? This goes back to my whole point of like, why are you having not superhero writers write superhero movies? There's a whole genre.
Yeah,
with
we've got
its
many
own
wonderful comic book writers. Why are they not writing
plenty of comic
Yeah.
book writers, and then you're having a screenwriter write and like I get that they're slightly different mediums. Don't get me wrong. I understand that they're different mediums. But not at the script writing level is it that different. At the script writing level, it's tell a good story is
Yeah.
is not something only someone who writes movies does. You know? Like a lot of script, so this is a look into the world of comic books, but a lot of the scripts for comic books, depending on who you're working with, like Alan Moore of Watchmen fame and plenty others, his scripts are more like novels. He writes out everything. It's like the opening paragraph of what he wants the opening shot to be is a page long, because he is very, very specific about how he does it. But other writers write more like a script, you know, like with like even down to the how it's annotated, you know, like person
Right.
1 : text blah blah blah, stage direction is this, because it's a very clear way to write what you want the person to draw. That's how you write storyboards too. And what is a comic book if not storyboards taken to its natural extreme, you know? So it just makes me nuts. I'm just out here going nuts.
Out here being angry.
I'm angry about it. Screen rant. That they just why? And
I think this question started out about earwigs somehow, and I don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
I don't remember where
we went off. I think my question about earwigs is how do we incorporate the pinchy bouquet? Because we did the emerald ash borer in a pair of coattails already.
Oh, we did. Well,
I remember what it was. It was Don Bluth. There's a scene in
okay.
Thumbelina. There's a
We've come full circle.
There's a scene in Thumbelina where she dresses up as a bug and goes to the bug ball.
Oh, that sounds very cute.
I might just find that one scene and send it to you so you can watch it. But like all the bugs are like, she's beautiful when she's a bug, and then she loses like her wings and her antenna, and they're like, she's hideous.
Rude.
I will send it to you later today.
Yeah, send it to me.
But my question is, how do we incorporate her pinchy booty without just giving her coattails again? Or do we just move the pinchers to somewhere else?
What does the theme look like? What kind of hero is she?
So,
because she's got to be a female because of the mom.
Because of the mom thing, she's a lady. And despite having many multi-legged creatures, I think I said earlier, we haven't done the hero with multiple arms thing. Because it doesn't really make any sense in real life. Because, like, where would you put your ball and socket joints?
If shoulders don't work that way.
Our shoulders straight up don't work that way. But I'm just going to pretend, for the sake of comic bookdom, that's fine. Like, there's, I think, several X-Men that have multiple arms. So I've done the multiple arms. She has one set of arms that's holding babies, 2 babies. And then one set of arms is like kind of spread out. I was in marching band in high school. And there was a thing that the color guardists, who are the people with the flags, if you don't know about marching band, the people with the flags would have something called whipsticks. And the whipsticks would have like the thin gossamer pieces of fabric, and oftentimes they would have that sort of origami back and forth pattern on them. So I've kind of got her arms spread out to show that sort of.
That sounds cool.
But I've only got her from the waist up because I'm not sure how to incorporate that booty bun.
How to do the pinchy butt? I don't know. I mean, unless we want to make the pinchy butt weapons of some kind.
Right. A lot of times we've done that, or because heroes unfortunately have a connotation with violence. I'm just not sure how we want to. I'm going to give her the anime mom hair, which is, if you don't know,
I don't know what that is. Yeah,
a ponytail that comes over one shoulder.
I think that's my normal hair. Not today. It's not in a ponytail, but I usually.
If you have anime mom hair, you will not survive the first couple episodes. You may actually already be dead before the story even starts. If you have anime mom hair, that's the rules.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Anime is not kind to mom figures as a general rule, but I feel like that's true of anything. If you want a hero who's been traumatized, the mom's just such an easy target. Because losing your mom at a young age, very traumatizing.
It's very tough. I'm trying to look at scissor leg weapons. Check out live recording chat, Amanda.
Okay. I searched pinch your weapon, and after the first 2 rows, it's all just pictures of dogs. It's all just miniature pictures.
Oh,
And like they're so cute, the little babies. They just are tiny Dobermans, and I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it really, really is. I want a mean-looking dog, but make it tiny.
I bet they're very annoying.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so kind of like basically just like a big scissor. Okay, let's see. How can I have her? I'll have 2 more arms coming out of her thorax. Is thorax the middle or the end?
Thorax is the middle.
Yes. Okay, coming out.
Amanda,
of
you're crushing it today. You're
Oh
crushing it with the vocabulary today. You're doing very well.
Someone get me a.
If I had a gold star sticker.
Thank you. I'll make one for myself.
Yeah.
It could be the image for this podcast release. Just be Amanda gets a gold star this week.
I think I would give you at least 2 gold stars this week. You've been
thank you. How many
very
legs
good.
Do I get?
Amanda gets 6 legs for me.
Yes.
How many legs would you give an earwig now that you've learned all this about them?
I've learned more about them. I don't know. I feel like I've just been flying high on the leg ratings lately. And part of me is like, you can't just give every bug a lot of legs. But I don't know. I feel like it's just such a quintessential. It's the buggiest of bugs. It's got wings. Beautiful. It's got a
little round head.
A little round head. The long, like, can move by itself. Little booty there. That ends in pinchers. A good mommy. I don't know. I feel like I haven't really heard any negatives other than that they look kind of scary when you find them in your house.
That's it. I mean, maybe the bad battery smell, but
yeah, battery smell not great.
That bad.
In my bathroom while I'm trying to pee, not great. But other than that, and she seems to be relatively harmless. She's not like eating any of my native bugs to the point of extinction or anything.
She also eats aphids in the garden, so she's a helpful bug.
She's a helpful little guy.
Because aphids are bad for our food crops.
I dare I say, I think I might give this bug. It's so iconic. I gotta go 6 out of 6 on this. I feel bad because I feel like I've been very generous.
Wow.
Like I'm really not hearing any downsides other than it looks kind of creepy.
You're giving the coveted 6 out of 6 to the earwig.
No one is more surprised than me. I would say. I did not come into this thinking I would. You just always convince me that the bug is great by the end of the episode. You're like,
that's
here
my job.
It is. The crawls in your bed and eats your toenails bug. And then by the end, I'm like, dang it, if that bug isn't great.
God, I love that bug. What a good bug.
That's a great bug.
Cicada killer brings in live cicadas and feeds them to your offspring. I think you still gave them like a 5.
Yeah, I think I only took away things for being horrific. But like, everyone needs a little bit of grace.
But that's my job here on the podcast, is to try to get you and the audience to give all the bugs.
We're gonna have to do a villain soon so that I don't rate so highly. So I'm gonna get a reputation for being too generous to the bugs.
I think I'm gonna give her a 4 out of 6.
You're not as impressed
I'm
by
less
her.
generous. Yeah.
You knew more about her, I think. I think part of my high rating is that like
the surprise
have learned
factor.
so much. Yeah, the surprise of it all. But it's like, what? She's been great this whole time? I didn't know.
I'm only taking points away for the ones that live on the tummy of rats because I find that to be
that's
disgusting.
a good point, actually.
And I love rats. I had pet rats in high school because, of course, I did. But
Of course you did. That makes
they
perfect
were
sense.
not covered in earwigs, thankfully.
Okay, what outfits do moms wear? I should give her some
High jeans.
mom
Mom
jeans.
jeans. Yeah, give her some mom
Perfect. Okay,
jeans from
some
SNL.
mom jeans. And we'll give her a turtleneck sweater because that's what I'm wearing today.
You should have given her I'd like to speak to the manager hair.
Nah, I gotta go with the
We like her
anime
though. We
mom.
like her.
We want her to be pleasant.
I would like us to mention that they can eat, because they're journalists, they can nibble on garden things. That's something that's come up before, and I feel like we might get emails if we don't mention.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
How do you want me to say that?
Give her a salad, Amanda.
Right in front of my salad. Okay, so
she does need a salad.
She does. Okay, I gotta account for all the arms. Okay, one arm.
Salads are mom foods for sure.
Salads are definitely mom foods.
I love, much like the earwig, I love a salad. So and I'm not a mom. I think I just enjoy a good salad because they will nibble on your lettuce and stuff in your garden, but
in your garden. Okay, so aphids plus if there's no aphids around, nibbling on your lettuce. So maybe I'm gonna do this arm out still, but I'm gonna lift this arm up so that she's holding a salad.
She's a little less hero-y than our other heroes.
Being a mom is a hero in its own right, Kelly.
Your own kind of
my
hero.
non-biased opinion. And we got to give her those salad tongs that still look like scissors because clearly that's what she's into.
I can't wait to do the Father's Day episode so you can make a dad.
I can picture the mustache already.
Oh yeah, it's gotta have a mustache.
For my first son's baby shower, my husband grew a mustache, and he wore like a golf polo shirt. So it was a polo shirt with like little golf flags all over it, and then like the cargo shorts were like, what are you gonna do with all these pockets, Dad?
No.
And then he wore
put all of them.
He didn't have any white sneakers, unfortunately, that fit him. But he did wear white tube socks that he pulled up to his knees. And all of his friends like criticized him for. They're like, "This is not the look, Cody." And he's like, "I'm a dad now. This is the daddest look I could put together."
That's perfect.
Anyway.
Oh, look at her.
So I've shared into the chat here, Mommy Earwig. She is carrying two little, who I tried to add swaddling to, but just made them look like little maggots.
I love their antennae.
Right. So they got two little antennae coming out of these little fellas. She's holding them, and then she has one arm of her 6 arms, which I guess if you're counting her legs is too many, but whatever.
You can fix that.
I can fix it in post. She's holding a salad with her salad tongs, and she's got a chain of children holding. I think, what are they called besides just chains? Like they're not daisy chains.
Paper crafts.
Yeah, those little paper dolls that all hold hands.
Yeah.
She's holding one of those to represent her many other children whom she also loves, besides these 2 in her arms.
I can't wait to see these colored in. It's going to be very pretty.
Yeah, I have to do a coloring session between her and last week's
the Death's Head Hawkmoth. Yeah.
So she's wearing a pair of mom jeans because of course she is. And you can't really see it here. I'm going to have to make it more clear in the sketch. She's also got a big pair of scissors right in front of her that she is theoretically holding the handles of, but it got kind of messy in my sketch of like where that exactly is. So I'll just have to fix that. But
she looks like a super mom.
She looks like a super mom.
She looks great.
She trains the other heroes. Like, we never said that they all have to be costumed heroes. Moms are heroes.
She could look after. She's like an Xavier character.
Yeah, she's like Xavier runs a school that actually freaking works. Xavier. This is not an Xavier positive podcast.
Very nicely done, as always.
And of course she's got the origami whipstick wings.
I like the wings are going to be very pretty.
Yeah. Well, if you want to look under a log and find us, you can find us at BugsNeedHeroes.com, as always. We're also on Reddit and YouTube and Instagram and technically Twitter, although looking closer and closer like Twitter's going to die. Sorry. And we'd love to hear from you. BugsNeedHeroes@gmail.com. If you have a bug you love, feel free to tell us to talk about it. We'd
We
love to
want
do
to
that
hear
for you.
all about your bug love. All about it.
If you have critiques of our previous bugs, we'd also love to hear about it.
Yes, absolutely. We like constructive criticism.
Constructive being the key term here, not
And a-
just criticism of us.
And a big happy Mother's Day to all the moms who listen to the pod.
Yes, if you're as good a mom as an earwig, you're doing all right. If you
Mhm.
kept them clean from fungus and made sure they ate meals, you're doing great. That's the level I aspire to. No fungus fed. All right, well, love you, bye. Bugs Need Heroes is created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman, hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Roll Music. All character art by Amanda Niday. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out on bugsneedheroes.com for the visual companion to our episodes with the artwork of the bug-related heroes. We also have an Instagram, Twitter, and subreddit under the Bugs Need Heroes name. Thanks for coming by. Oh, I searched pincher weapons, and result 4 is a Transformers Beast Wars power pincher. For you, Derek. Power pinchers.